Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me as always is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
I was born ready.
And
Hi, Scribe.
apparently my internet wife is with us. Hi, say hi, SDA.
Hi. Dup.
Yeah, I performed the ceremony offline, guys. You missed it. It was a beautiful ceremony.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
strange day
Rating
with that.
Monkey's upset.
We'll come back to that later. Let's get into the news here.
Oh boy.
What you got for us,
What do
Scribe?
you want to start off with? You want to start off with U.S. and North Korea,
Actually,
or oh?
actually, I have a story I want to cover real quick.
You're prepared?
A new, kind of, sort of.
Oh, wow.
While you guys were talking, I pulled up some stuff, and this one made me laugh. A new Washington poll post that declares President Trump as the least popular president in modern times waits until the second to last paragraph to reveal another tidbit. He'd still beat Hillary if the election were held today.
That's perfect.
With a 42% approval rating, he would still beat Hillary in the election.
That's perfect.
46 to 43.
Oh, that's perfect. If only those numbers had been around during the election, right?
Yeah, no shit. I just thought that was funny and be a great way to start off. So yeah, if you have a more serious story, let's go.
Let's see. Well, we have U.S. and North Korea regarding provocations, and
oh yeah, we can. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, CNN's going to play a video on me. Is it okay? Hold on a second, so I don't get
fucking CNN.
It's this autoplay video thing. I wish there was a way I could turn it off. Just make it stop playing the videos for me. Okay. With tensions rising between the U.S. and North Korea, the Pentagon on Sunday called for the isolated communist nation to avoid destabilizing the situation further. So the Pentagon told North Korea, behave yourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
Quote, we call on North Korea to refrain from provocative, destabilizing actions and rhetoric, and to make the strategic choice to fulfill its international obligations and commitments and return to serious talks. Pentagon spokesperson Gary Ross said, North Korea's unlawful weapons programs represent a clear, grave threat to U.S. national security. The statement came just hours after a North Korean newspaper said Pyongyang was ready to take out a U.S. aircraft carrier conducting drills with Japanese destroyers near the Philippines.
Could they take out a U.S. anything?
If one of their missiles actually worked, they could probably sink a carrier if they hit it just right.
Yeah. Rodong Sinmun, the official newspaper of the North Korean government's Central Committee, said in an editorial, the country is ready to illustrate its, quote, military force by sinking the, quote, nuclear-powered aircraft carrier with a single strike. The newspaper claimed Pyongyang has weaponry that, quote, can reach continental U.S. and Asia-Pacific region, and the absolute weapon, a hydrogen bomb. CNN cannot independently verify the claims. Yeah.
Real quick, because I know this will come up in the comments later. I am not saying that North Korea can actually do this. If everything they have worked, they could, but I don't think they have everything working.
Yeah, if everything everything they had worked perfectly, and they hit a moving target with one of their missiles at distance, and hit like the fuel tank, then yes, they could probably sink or at least severely damage an aircraft carrier. The likelihood that all of the factors necessary to make that happen would line up for North Korea are pretty much slim to none. But
yeah, they have trouble getting them off the ground. So
yeah, but if they did make the attempt and even came close to doing anything like what they're threatening to do,
it would be war.
Well, yeah, that act of provocation would pretty much seal the deal at that point.
And North Korea would be blown off the map, essentially.
Mara in chat, hashtag hydrogen bombs are legalized prostitution.
Everything is legalized prostitution, god damn it.
Well, we wouldn't blow North Korea off the map. I figure that if we ever did take military action, it would be a series of very specific strikes on very specific installations to completely cripple any warfighting capability they had. Because at this point, we know probably the location of every major stockpile or important facility of theirs that they have going. The only thing stopping us, of course, is the political consequences of doing so. And so we wouldn't be able to do that without China's either okay or at least China's declaration of non-interference in the process or something like that.
I mean, at the same time, that would be a whole lot easier to do if they actually went for it.
China would have a harder argument against some kind of response if North Korea were the ones to initiate the aggressions. Yes,
Yeah.
that's not. But there would still. It would depend on what the action taken was and if anybody was hurt, etc. And but yeah, but China would probably want something in exchange for its neutrality or assistance, depending on the situation. So
Right.
Now,
let's
Scribe,
see.
you've been
Yes.
around. You're almost as old as me. You've
Mhm.
watched, I'm sure, North Korea for years and years and years.
Mhm.
Saber rattling.
Mhm.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the young Kim is a little bit more insane than his father?
I think the young Kim has known nothing but his situation. I mean, um, um, let me see here for a second. Let me try to arrange my thoughts.
Why you do that? Okay, what I'm saying is Kim Jong Il used to say a lot of really stupid shit,
Yes.
but then he would always back down.
Mhm.
He would just do it to get his attention, and once he had his attention, he'd shut the fuck up and go away for a while.
Mhm.
His son doesn't seem to be capable of that. It's almost like he's been insulted his whole life, and he wants to prove he's a man. Is how it's coming off to me.
I think that the let's see. I have what I want to say in my head. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it most effectively.
Yeah.
The father grew up in an era of a much different global politic than his son is growing up in, and his
Okay.
son has sycophants around him that are scared of him, rightfully so, because I mean he had his own family members killed,
Hmm.
So he's nutballs, and I think it's mainly because he's never been told no about anything.
Hmm.
I could see how Kim Il Sung, the grandfather, he might have been have a more restraining hand on his son, but I think that's diluted over time because of just um, the cult like nature of that nation. And without dad around as a something guiding hand or a somewhat reasoned, I mean, in in
In
comparative
relative
terms,
terms, yeah.
yeah, a reasonable mindset. Yeah, this guy's got nothing to lose, and he's got everything to prove at the same time. I mean, he's a short, baby-faced little guy. His father wasn't taken seriously on the world stage. He's certainly not taken seriously on the world stage. When that movie, The Interview, came out, he's basically a laughing stock, even more so.
Right.
So and yeah, and the way that country is structured, anyone is subject to being killed at his whim,
Hmm.
and everybody knows that. And with great with great power comes great corruption, and he doesn't. There's no blocks on that guy, and he doesn't. I don't know at this
Well,
point. Given
I'm also curious how much he believes his father's press, because Kim Jong Il knew he didn't shoot an 18 on an
yeah,
18 golf course.
hmm
But as we've talked about Korea before, I mean, if that's all you're hearing,
right.
grew up hearing how perfect his father was and how strong Korea was. And yeah, this guy seems really more dangerous to me than his dad ever did.
Now he spent. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kim Jong Un spent time outside of Korea going to school, didn't he? Didn't he go to Oxford or something?
I want to say yes, but I can't confirm
Yeah,
that. It's been so long since I've read about
yeah.
his upbringing.
So I mean, this is the thing that I don't quite get is like he spent time outside of his country. He's seen how the rest of the world is. Of course, if he was indoctrinated to think that anything outside of his country is just this decadent, corrupt, bourgeois, whatever, but he's going to take advantage of it. I, I don't even know what the mindset is. All I know is that the proof is in the pudding. If they're threatening nuclear war, if they're firing missiles off, if they're making threats, and they're actually, I mean, if they light off another nuclear bomb, um, I don't even know. I don't know what China's going to say to that one. One Ton Hammer is saying something to me. Sorry, I missed the chat. Your last chat message. I'm looking. You might have to repeat it, dude. I was scrolling.
He said Kim Jong Un has never been to the U.S. He was educated in Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland. That's what it was. Okay. Oh, I didn't think he had gone to the U.S. No, I knew he had gone to school outside of North Korea, though. And I mean, Switzerland is relatively, sane country, sort of, kind of. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm more scared of something happening that does succeed in hurting somebody, or at least coming close to it in a sense that can't be denied. And then we
Right.
go
Yeah.
then we go into crazy negotiations with China. The pressure gets on to do something, and if North Korea, or I should say, its leader feels cornered, I mean, if they let's say they shoot a missile off and it comes close to hitting a carrier, well, then U.S. is going to take that as a provocation of war, which is legit. They're going to put pressure on China. Hey, China, let's figure something out here. Something's got to happen. And in the meantime, between the act and the negotiations and whatever comes out of that, what does North Korea do under the pressure of what's going to happen next? That's what I'm scared of.
Well, I think if it comes to that, if they actually fire something at one of our ships, I think China will just back off, because to me, they really seem like they're tired of dealing with North Korea's shit too. And it's not like we have to get a declaration of war. We're technically still at war with these people. We strike their targets, knock out their capabilities, and they're pretty fucked. I mean, it'll be over in a day.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, a couple of days if we're being honest. But
yeah, the problem is that China, for all that China might be annoyed with North Korea for being, it's not so much that they're annoyed with North Korea as a country. It's the strategic placement of its territory next to South Korea and having no foothold or no bargaining chip in the region. If they lose that territory to a unified South Korea, North Korea with a friendly government towards the U.S., then they're boxed in, at least diplomatically and geographically, and they don't want to do that.
Oh, I don't think that we would go so far as to like a ground invasion or a change of regime. I think we would just beat the shit out of them from the sky.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, even if we don't, think about China for just a moment. How old is this country? It's thousands and thousands of years old. If North Korea falls and it just becomes some kind of protectorate or something for whatever, in the long game, it's more likely it's going to unify with the South at some point than it's going to go back to a communist state. So, you know, our country might have nothing to do with trying to replace regime change in North Korea or anything else now, but China is probably looking at this as a 100-year down the line thing. I mean, their perspective on world events and the consequences of actions probably is a bit more long game than we who worry about the next 5 minutes of the news cycle. So, yeah, they don't want Kim. They would prefer that someone was running North Korea that wasn't Kim Jong-un. That's about it. Yeah, somebody sane, but they don't want to lose North Korea as a communist ally in the region or that territory. So, it's a complete crapshoot as to what happens next or how it's all going to go down.
And once again, this is all just our opinion, things we're talking about, spitballing ideas.
Yep. I've read a lot of Tom Clancy. Yeah, I've read a lot of Tom Clancy books, so I just sort of like game out. Like, well, if this piece on the chessboard moves this way, and then this one has to do this, what does this person do? Oh, well, we're dealing with a crazy person, so who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Speaking of crazy, there's a button in the bottom left-hand corner. It's a $sign. You should give Monkey money so that you can help him prepare for the impending World War III apocalypse, whatever. Bunker money. Just give him money.
Monkey bunker. Yes,
monkey bunker.
We need to buy a monkey bunker. Not Archie bunker, a monkey bunker.
Yeah.
It has to have a tree and some vines and a little cradle for a grand monkey.
Yes,
and, lots of big jars of tobacco and papers.
And of course, Wi-Fi.
Yes, what she said.
Somebody in the chat said the volume is so low. Sorry, guys, the app that lets us adjust volumes doesn't work, so just turn that shit up.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Hangouts has been pretty crappy to Monkey the last couple of days, so
it's been a bitch.
Yeah, I hope it's friendly to me tomorrow, because I've got this whole AMA thing and I haven't tested a stream on my channel in quite a while. Let's move on.
So were you set up so we can do streams on your channel yet?
I've been set up to do streams on my channel for months, dude.
No, I meant with the super chat and everything.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've been set up
Yay.
since
Cool.
I went 1,000. As far as I know, I haven't actually done a stream since then, so I think it'll work, but I haven't actually had a chance to try. Tomorrow will be the first time I have a chance to see what happens with that.
Thank you, the Dark Wolf.
Yay, Dark
Monkey,
Wolf. Monkey Bunker
Monkey
Money.
Bunker Money. That's hard to say.
Stock up on nanners.
Oh,
Let's see.
bananas. I was wondering what that meant.
Yeah, that's. I think is that British? Is that a British
It's
slang?
either bananas or old ladies.
Yeah, Moniker gave me some advice on my microphone. I found a setting that's in Windows that apparently was automatically dampening noises and such. So that might have
Oh,
been adding this sort of default layer of muffling to my sound, at least on my audio recordings. I'm still playing with a little bit to see if that was the case. The most recent video I did with that adjustment set off was my non-author video this morning, and I think it sounds better. Whoa! Thank you, Jeffrey.
thank you, Jeffrey.
Wow, Jeffrey, thank you. Hey, sexy Spider-Man.
Wow.
Do we want to talk about France or?
Oh yeah, let's do France real quick. I do want
Marie.
to preface this by just saying I haven't kept up at all
I
with
haven't
French
either.
politics.
Yeah, I'm not quite
I
sure.
know.
I know the yeah.
But we'll cover it real quick from what we do know.
So let's see. Le Pen faces Macron in final round of French presidential election. Voters in France have comprehensively snubbed the country's political establishment, sending far-right populist Marine Le Pen and political novice Emmanuel Macron through to the second round of the country's presidential election, early results indicate. Well, this sounds like a familiar pattern of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two people who are on the opposite side of the status quo, ending up at the top seats, or at least top billing.
It's Trump and Sanders.
Oh, God. Yeah, no kidding. With 96% of polling stations declared, newcomer Macron was leading the field with 23.7%, and National Front leader Le Pen was close behind on 21.8%. This word threw me off my brain. The result upended. I was like, upended. Result upended. The result upended traditional French politics. Neither candidate hails from the establishment parties that have dominated the country for decades. It was a stunning victory for Macron, 39, a former investment banker who has never before stood for elected office, sounds familiar, and now becomes the favorite to become France's next president. We did it, he told jubilant supporters. It was also a success for Le Pen, who has spent years attempting to rid the Front Nation. What the hell? It was also a success for Le Pen, who has spent years attempting to rid the Front National, what the hell is the Front National, of the toxic legacy of her father.
Her party? I don't know.
Oh, well, they flipped the words around. It's called the National Front, not the Front National. CNN, what the fuck? You screwed my brain up. Anyway,
Poor scribbles.
I know. It's time to free French people from arrogant elites. I am the people's candidate, she declared. The result mirrored others, such as the British vote to leave the European Union and the U.S. election of Donald Trump, where voters have rejected traditional elites. It's a political earthquake in this country and in Europe, veteran French journalist Christine Ockrent told CNN. So the runoff happens May 7th. And right now, depending on who you talk to, it's probably weighted in favor of Macron. But who knows? If there's another terrorist attack between now and May 7th, it may swing more towards Le Pen. So,
yeah. That's about as much as I have. Yeah.
Because I think Macron is pro EU.
Yes, he is.
And Le Pen is pro leave EU, but also anti open borders.
Right.
That's my sort of high level.
That's all I know about Le Pen, is that she's against the EU and against open borders.
Let's see. Other than that, I got a bunch of other smaller stories. I have to give a shout out to my friendly research assistant, Fernanda, for sending me some story links that she thought might be interesting for the stream. So I got a couple of those here if we want to get to other smaller news stories. But
real quick, speaking of that, if you guys out there find stories you think would be interesting, send them to us on Twitter. We'll take a look. Doesn't mean we will cover them, but we'll take a look.
Yep.
Make sure you like send it to me if if you tweet us, make sure you indicate like that it's a story for the thing, because if you're just spam tweeting me, I'm not going to look at it.
Yeah, put a big thing on like stream news or something.
Yeah, something like that, because otherwise I'm just going to be like, ugh.
Let's see. Oh, Backscan 3030 says Macron is the one that said France has to just get used to terrorist attacks. Oh, well, I don't like him then. Let's see. Tailed Feature says French people are generally for the EU, so Le Pen getting in doesn't necessarily mean France is leaving. No, I wouldn't think that even if she did. That'd be a much longer process. Okay. Can we talk about Vampire Diaries very very quickly and get that out of the way?
Sure. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, SDA watched, what the fuck is the name of that show?
Jessica Jones.
Yes, Jessica Jones, because Scribe told her to, and he's her boss. And because she did that, he watched 13 episodes of the Vampire Diaries?
Yes, 13. The first 13 episodes of the first season.
Okay, so my question for you, now that you've watched it, which one of you is a bigger asshole for making the other watch a show?
Definitely him.
Probably me, because as bad as the Vampire Diaries is, or at least the 13 episodes that I saw, maybe it's better by season 17 or something. I at least had fun watching it because I was watching it with a friend, and it was hilarious catching all of the horrible writing and the bad plot holes and everything else. So there was entertainment in its badness, which I doubt that SDA was experiencing while she was watching Jessica Jones.
Nope.
So
I had to do it alone.
Yeah, exactly. That's it does help to have a partner to riff off of, because
which is kind of cheating.
Because I never said you couldn't watch it with someone else, so that was you could have synced it up with Bay and watched it together.
Yeah, well, I already didn't do that. So
yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, the Vampire Diaries. God, for anybody who either remembers or has seen the old TV show Dark Shadows, with Barnabas Collins, or even the remake where you had Ben Cross playing Barnabas Collins in the 90s for a very brief, I think it only lasted like 10 episodes or something. This is just almost a complete rehash of that kind of soap opera. It's Twilight fuel. They even make a joke in like the first or second episode. One of them is reading Twilight and making comments about Bella and what's his name, the vampire. So the one question I have for you, SDA, just as someone who's watched everything about it, and the show's over now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. The one question that kept rolling around, well, I shouldn't say the one question. I have several questions, but the one thing that bugged me the most about the entire thing is, why didn't they just fucking kill Damon? Every problem in that show results from him, and he's a serial killer, and they're always like saving his life, and oh, please don't hurt him, and like, he murdered 5 people in the first 2 episodes who were innocent people. What the fuck are you doing saving his life? Just chop his head off and get it over with.
I don't know, and the weird thing is that a lot of the arc around Damon is fixing him, which irritated the hell out of me, because he's a lot more fun to watch when he's like evil Damon.
Yeah, I mean, if the show was just around following him as the anti-hero bad guy who's the protagonist thing, at least that would make some kind of sense. But unfortunately, you put all these goody two-shoes around him, and yet they're all just sort of shrugging their shoulders and just like, oh, we have to protect him, and oh, don't kill him, don't be what he is, kind of thing. I'm like, he has killed innocent people again and again and again. And so as soon as Elena, the first time that she stopped someone from killing him, I said to my friend, every death that occurs now is on her head. And within an episode or 3, he'd killed 4 more people. So just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So
yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, the problems, I guess, it's weird because the first season, and if you've read the book, you can really see it. They didn't quite know how much to take from the books and how much to take and how much to just make it up as they go.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed so much from the book because the book is just, if you think that's an insta romance in the TV show, you should read the book because it is so awful.
Mm-hmm.
In the book. So the source material is garbage. It gets better once they sort of get into a rhythm. But yeah, it's okay.
So what? And this is just a rhetorical question for the universe. Why does such crappy source material get it? How many seasons does this thing go? 7?
8.
8? Yeah. How does?
Yeah, I don't know.
People kept watching it because it's just cheap soap opera, and I understand it's like, okay, that's sometimes cotton candy. It's not very filling, but it's sweet and it's satisfying for a couple of seconds. That's kind of what syndicated soap opera teen dramas. That's the other thing that always bugged me. Is like, oh, they're 17. Yeah, right, 17, and I'm 28. I'm 57. Oh my god, it's just. Anyway, it was a difficult 13 episodes, but I got through it and I watched it and I did my penance.
Somebody asked, which is the better show?
I think the Vampire Diaries is more tolerable.
I would say the Vampire Diaries is more tolerable because it's not a one-track story. There's at least other things going on than just Jessica Jones chasing Kilgrave. Oh my god, the world sucks.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, the thing that makes the originals a little bit better is that, for one thing, the main characters in that are adults.
Thank God.
And so you're not dealing with like bullshit. This is happening. They're like 10. What are you talking about?
Well, after about the third instance where we had a quote unquote 16 or 17-year-old drinking at a bar, and that bar was not shut down for violations of the state law and losing their liquor license, I just kind of gave up. I was just like, okay, we have a 16-year-old upstairs with a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old having sex, and the aunt's downstairs just kind of like shrugging her shoulders, like, oh my god, whatever. Yeah, statutory rape's taking place there. 17-year-old sleeping with a 150-year-old vampire who
yeah, and also in the originals, they kind of stopped the bullshit with the age differences. Everybody's just an adult who's involved. And there is no source material for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a little bit freer to do everything. Yeah, I don't know why I like it. I just do.
Well, everybody's entitled to a guilty pleasure. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be anybody to judge you on that point.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like it's not written well at all. It really isn't. Yeah. But that's okay.
Hey, if people are willing to watch it and advertisers are willing to put their money down on it, then hey, yay America. Anyway, we don't need to dwell on that. Let's move on to something more interesting.
Do we have more interesting?
Oh, I'm getting a puppy.
Aw. What kind of puppy?
Excited. He is a Kelpie mix, we think.
Now you lost a pet earlier this year, right?
Yeah, about a month and a half ago.
Oh, so getting a new puppy will make that better.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost her really suddenly too, so it was kind of out of nowhere. She just kind of had cancer, and then like within 2 weeks, that was it. So, yeah. But I'm excited. Probably gonna happen on Friday or Saturday.
So Friday or Saturday, you're gonna be giddy all night?
Yeah. I'll show him to you guys when we get him.
Brian
he's still only 7 weeks old, so.
Brian asked what the live stream was originally about. The way we do it here, we talk about news for a little bit, and then we just kind of wander if we don't have a set topic. The reason this was named the Friend Zone has been asshole on Twitter. One of SDA's mgtow, I don't even know what to call them. They're like your little puppies.
No.
How do you attract them? Do you like I know this guy. You ended up on his channel. How did you end up on his channel? Did he contact you?
Yeah, he was like, I'm a reasonable MGTOW, want to chat? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Why not?
So from now on, she's not allowed to do live streams unless she has our permission.
Yeah.
Me and Scribe both have to sign off on it because she attracts weirdos.
Yes, and this is actually just an extension of the TV show My Two Dads.
Yes.
Hey, also, because my dad vetoed the name Rex. He doesn't like it. And I vetoed Bob.
Jinx. I told you, Jinx.
No, it's a boy.
So?
Jinx can be a boy.
Tweet me puppy names.
You're asking for it now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will all
I was trying to sneak a Star Wars name in, and my dad was like, no.
Speaking of pets real quick, because I never understood this. So I hate to take it back to the Vampire Diaries. We're talking about animals real quick. So in the first few episodes, this crow.
Right? Oh my God, I know.
Hold on a sec. So this, just for audience, so this crow will come up. And at first I thought, oh, this must be a vampire in crow form. No, it's basically like a familiar or something. It seemed to be to Damon, the evil brother. Right. And after a while, I've seen this crow show up just randomly here, there, and otherwise. I told my friend, I said, I'm going to name this crow Plot Device, because that's really the only reason this crow is there. Do they ever explain this crow in the 7th, 8th season?
They don't. They don't explain the crow or the mist. However, this is something where they were like, how much do we take from the source material? How much do we make up? The crow in the actual book, Damon can turn into a crow and a wolf.
See, that's what I thought.
And he has weather powers. But in the TV show, it was kind of like they were going that way. And then they just drop it and never talk about it again. Because in the first episode, it's the first or second episode where Stefan's all like, and then he's like, you should see what I can do with the fog.
Yeah, right. I mentioned that. Never hear that again.
Yeah.
Anyway, you should name the dog a Plot Device.
No.
You should name it Monkey.
No, you should name it COC.
I'm not naming my dog Cock.
Or how about DOC, Dog of Color?
You can call him Doc for short.
No.
Anyway, tell us about the friend epic on Twitter, because I only saw this as an observer.
Oh, well, the way I got dragged into this is he came into our chat right after you were on the stream with him.
Yep.
And the subject, he insists that prostitution or marriage is legalized prostitution, which is fucking retarded. And me saying that it's fucking retarded meant I was triggered.
Yeah.
I've never understood.
Well, he said that we're all triggered, and I was like, no, we're not. And then he was like, you told your dad about it, and so like that's how butthurt you were. And I was like, no, my dad watched it live because my dad thinks that mgtows are creepy and he's confused by them. So then we started talking about it. Like talking about something doesn't mean that you're triggered or butthurt. You're just talking about what he said.
Yeah, I thought it was, I was making fun of him. I thought it was funny. One Ton Hammer says mgtows are creepy. Some of them really are, and this one is. And he really needs to redo his avatar because a shirtless guy with doughy shoulders is just nasty. But
is he shirtless?
Yeah, look at him in that picture. You can see his doughy shoulders. It's really creepy. He
doesn't look He looks like he has a shirt on. Is that how bad it is?
Does it match his skin color?
I don't know.
Anyhow. So anyway, I called his mother a whore.
Oh, he is gross.
Now, the reason I called his mother a whore is because he says marriage is legalized prostitution. And I asked him if his mom was married. If his mom is married and prostitution or marriage is legalized prostitution, that makes his mother a whore by his own reasoning. Which, that's not me calling his mom a whore. That's him doing it. And so I had a little fun for like, 45 minutes just repeating that to him.
And he was like, no, what the fuck? And it was funny. But the other thing was that he was saying, he made a 30-minute video, which I didn't watch.
Scribbles, did you actually watch that video?
I skipped around a little bit.
How'd it go?
So we're talking about the 30-minute long thing from Shiva, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Shiva.
Shiva, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I listened to a couple minutes of it, and I skipped around a little bit because it was kind of just droning on. And but I came to the part where he started playing clips from the stream, because I figured, okay, well, if he's going to make a rebuttal to something that was actually said that I have some idea about, because I don't know if this is all anything that I have any idea about, then maybe that'll be it. So I skipped over, and we were talking about the whole angry MGTOW Jim Jones comparison, and he came back on that and he says, and this is where they're talking about how angry MGTOW was like Jim Jones, and to be fair, he kind of was. And I was like, oh, well, at least he's not completely in the tank with this whole thing. So, whatever partial credit is due there for at least not being a sycophant. But yeah, a 30-minute rebuttal to us just sort of like bullshitting him on the chat the other night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know all of the history between SDA and all.
There isn't. I mean,
That's the history.
Okay.
You know as much as we do.
Okay, I don't know. It's like,
no, but didn't you watch the original? I know you watched part of the stream that I did with him initially.
With Angry MGTOW, yeah.
No, with
No, with that guy.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
You were in the chat.
Was I?
Yes.
Oh, I have blanked it out then, because I've been in so many streams. I was in the Angry MGTOW chat with you. I don't remember being in the chat when you were talking to Shiva.
You were.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah. You were.
But the other thing about it is nobody's allowed to answer him if SDA talks. If you tweet something to him and we respond to it at all, we're white knighting you.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody do that with a man.
Well, and people keep saying, they're like, why are you trying to get her attention, monkey?
Yes.
It's like, we're already
No,
friends.
not just, why are you trying to get her attention? All I got to do is DM her, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Or, talk to her at night.
Yeah, we're not on like a group chat together for every day for the last 3 months or anything at all.
No shit.
We don't talk to each other every day getting ready for the stream or just kind of BSing otherwise. No, Monkey's really starving for attention because he doesn't get any attention at all from his wife or his grandbaby or his kids or his fans or
most importantly, me.
Yeah, exactly.
He
SDA,
never gets to talk to me.
Yeah,
this
SDA,
isn't happening right now.
SDA's like Bigfoot, often talked about, never seen. Monkey is just dying to find her, and he just can't, except for these few minutes every night.
Yeah. Somebody called you my internet wife?
What?
You didn't see that one?
No, I didn't see that.
So she's an iFu?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, don't.
But that's where the friend zone thing came from, because apparently you can't be friends with women.
Now the thumbnail that Shiva used on his video, I thought, is that what he thinks Monkey and SDA look like together? Wow, they're pretty. Did you see the thumbnail he used?
I didn't.
Oh, I was like, wow, that is a pretty couple. If that's supposed to be Monkey and SDA, wow, they're looking dapper today.
Why? Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you saying that I don't look dapper all the time?
Dapper is not the word I would use to describe a woman usually, unless you're doing like a sort of Marlene Dietrich dressing up in a tuxedo kind of thing, I guess.
Okay.
If you know what I'm talking about there, which you don't, probably because you're young. Hell, even people my age probably don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about there, but whatever.
Anyhow, so yeah, MGTOW, if you're listening, it is possible to be friends with women.
Dun,
Just throwing
dun,
that out there.
dun.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can be friends with them and I don't have to be sleeping with them or like giving them money to give me the sex.
You know what? You could do that too, though.
I can give you money to give me the sex.
Yeah.
That's what she just said.
Well, but she just said meh when I like asked her directly. I'm asking her. I'm not asking about women in general.
But yeah, so anyhow, that was how I spent my day, which wasn't productive.
I was having fun.
It did make me laugh.
I was having fun on it. I made a flag. Do you see the flag I made?
I did.
I saw your flag. That was awesome.
I actually found that picture. As far as I know, that is the same overall design of the actual plunger of the story. in question.
I like how it was ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, me
exactly why
too.
that was used. Yeah, because if you just take off the little cap at the bottom, it's basically just a stiff dildo. That's all it is.
Yeah. Where do we go from stiff dildo? Yeah, you said you had other little stories.
I do have other little stories. Do I have something that's not completely depressing? That's not really true, because everything here I have, well, at least one that doesn't deal directly with death. I have from the Business Insider, and this may or may not become a bigger story as time goes on because it's relatively new. North Korea has detained a U.S. citizen, the third American now held there. Pyongyang, North Korea. North Korea has detained a U.S. citizen, official said Sunday. And I always question, like, why would a U.S. citizen, knowingly go to North Korea at this point? But whatever. Bringing the number of Americans there now being held there to 3. Tony Kim, who also goes by his Korean name Kim Sang-duk, was detained on Saturday, according to Park Chan-mo, the chancellor of the Pyongyang University of Science and Technology. Park said Kim, who is in his 50s, taught accounting at the university for about a month. He said Kim was detained by officials as he was trying to leave the country from Pyongyang's international airport. The Swedish embassy in Pyongyang said it was aware of a Korean American citizen being detained recently, but could not comment further. Are they going to tell us? Oh, there are no details on why Kim was detained. Okay, so they probably just made some shit up, or he's a spy or something. Another foreigner. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Last year, Otto Warmbier, then a 21-year-old University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati, was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in prison after he confessed to trying to steal a propaganda banner. Yeah, because, a propaganda banner is worth 15 years of hard labor. Kim Dong-chul, who was born in South Korea but is also believed to have U.S. citizenship, believed to, or wouldn't you be able to check that, is serving a sentence of 10 years for espionage. Another foreigner, a Canadian pastor, is also being detained in North Korea. Hyeon Soo Lim, a South Korean-born Canadian citizen in his 60s, was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 2015 on charges of trying to use religion to destroy the North Korean system and helping the U.S. and South Korean authorities lure and abduct North Korean citizens. That is a very productive 60-something-year-old. Yeah, that place is crazy. Here's a thought. Don't go to North Korea.
Why would anybody go to North Korea? On purpose?
Well, it sounds like some of these people must have had family or some kind of connection there to go back.
Yeah, well, that sucks for your family, I guess.
Don't go to North Korea. I never understand why people go there, unless you are with like some kind of governmental group, or you've got cameras up the yin yang and are beaming them straight back to your news agency somewhere else for proof of something. Why anyone would choose to go to that place?
Can I just say I really love Asian names? Every time I hear
you've said it,
make me laugh.
Cream of some young guy. What?
I actually knew a kid back in 4th grade. His name was Hung Long.
I'd love to tell a story about a name, but I'd end up saying someone's real name, and I don't want to do that. So
yeah, I have a really funny story about a name, but I'd dox myself. So
yeah.
Why is it your name? Is your name funny?
No, it's not.
Oh, I do have a story I can tell though. I think I've told this before. Well, if I have, you can.
We have new viewers. Go ahead.
It's true. Okay, so a long time ago, I used to work in collections, and I was given every day. I was given this list of account numbers I'd have to put into the computer to look them up, to get their personal information, their phone number, and track them down. This is before they installed an auto dialer, which would have a computer do it for you. So you actually had to be the person manually making all the decisions and trying to track somebody down. It was kind of like bounty hunting after a fashion. All you're doing it from a desk. Anyway, so I didn't know anything about the person I was looking up until I put in the account number. So I think it was my first or second month there, I put in the account number on my split. That's what they called the list you got every day. And you had to make a minimum of 300 phone calls every day.
Damn.
Yeah, I did fine. I made that quota pretty quick. Anyway, I put in the account number, and the name comes up, and the last name is like Lang, I think, or Lung or something, Lung or Lang. But the first name was spelled Bich.
Bitch.
And I'm like, I'm looking at this, and I've got my hand on the phone, and I'm not picking it up because I'm looking at this like, So I call over the guy across the aisle from me and say, hey, do you know what the right way to say this name might be? Because there were no notes. So there's nothing. I mean, usually there's the little note field that tells you some details or things to keep in mind when you talk to a person, but there's nothing there. And the guy looks at it and he says, beach or Bich or something. I think he was German, so yeah, I could see the Bich thing. So I'm like, oh God. So I pick up the phone, dial the number, and this sweet little old lady voice comes on. She says, hello, and I say, hey, I'm calling from the collection agency. Can I speak to Bich? And she says, in this sweet little voice, yes, this is bitch. And I say, well, hi, bitch. Where's my money? And the guy next to me, his eyes go wide. He's just like, oh my God, did you just say that? And she started laughing and laughing. I knew my job was safe at that point, and she paid up and it was fine. But it was just like, hey, bitch. I was like,
Nice.
Anyway. Better Read the Dead says, I once had a case with a man named Woody Bonner. Or not like John Boner. Boehner. Yeah. And there was actually, I had to call a guy named Sherlock Holmes one time. He had legally changed his name to Sherlock Holmes. Uh-oh. I hear Lady Monkey.
Yeah, I'm talking to her for just a second. You guys hang out.
Oh. Hey, SDA.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
What?
So do you like stuff?
Yeah, stuff is fun. It's fine.
Do you like stuff? Are you fucking kidding me? You asshole.
No, I was taking that. That's a pickup line from The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I do want to call you an asshole.
Oh, okay.
SDA, he was on a stream earlier tonight where he was bitching about us talking about Pokemon.
Oh, you heard that, did you?
We did it one damn time.
Well, they were asking. They were talking to me about it. I was like, "Yeah, you guys."
Who were you on a stream with?
Huh?
That was Irate Bear's stream.
Yeah, Irate Bear. He put his link out, and I went on there and was just talking about stuff. And Bear's like, "Scribe, we haven't talked in a long time." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been busy like every night doing the stream thing." He's like, "Yeah, well, you guys are lazy. You're lazy." And I'm like,
"He called us fucking lazy. Fuck him."
Yeah, he calls us lazy. I'm like, I make at least one video at worst every 3 days, if not shorter. And Monkey's putting out videos every other day too, and so is SDA. We're not lazy. He's like, yo, lazy. And they started talking about it, and I at one point I said, yeah, I mean, there's sometimes I'll just be sitting there going like, well, I don't know much about mgtow, and if they start talking about Pokemon, I just kind of like boring. So yeah.
One time we talked about Pokemon, fucker.
It's not the one time.
Anyway, so what are you playing,
Monkey?
Are you playing Sun or Moon? You're playing Sun, right? Or Moon?
I'm playing Moon right now. I already beat Sun.
How's it going?
Actually, I keep getting bored with it. I hate replaying a game so soon. But yeah, I'm not going to torture Scribe with Pokemon. I heard that. I was like, you fucker.
I know that I've sang the Jigglypuff song more than one time in reference to what was going on the stream. So we've talked.
We might have brought it up like in my brief conversation.
Yes.
We've only had one long chat.
It's true. And I just sort of stayed back because it's your thing, not mine. That's fine. That's fine. If I have nothing to add, in all honesty, I mean, if you guys were talking about economics or something, I wouldn't know what to say. It's just one of those things. It's like I have nothing to contribute here.
It's kind of like when you guys talk about meatloaf. I've learned to keep my mouth shut.
I'm not a meatloaf expert or anything. Yeah, you don't want it in your mouth.
Well, I had nothing to say during the Vampire Diaries. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
You made it sound like we talk about Pokemon every night.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
If it
See, that would have been accurate if I had gone on and complained about movies.
Yes, that's true. That is true. No, but I was hamming it up a little bit, but I didn't mean to imply that it was a constant thing or something.
No, you were fine. I just wanted to fuck with you about it because I thought it was funny.
Oh, you wanted to fuck with me? Gosh, was this a day that ends in Y?
Well, you had that plunger out there and got me all excited.
Oh yeah, well, hey,
Hey, that plunger's for me. Back off.
Yeah,
kind of looked like anal beads on the end there.
That was kind of the well, not the anal part of it, but at least the ribbed part of it was the whole idea behind looking for that particular model back in college. Because it's like a lot cheaper than buying the thing at the sex shop.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back to rib dildos. So we came back to where we started.
Full circle.
Yeah. Scribe Light, the reason women like vampires is they don't care what time of the month it is.
Oh, gross.
That's perfect.
Backscan, you're bad tonight.
Thank you, Backscan. Let's see what else is going on in the world. We can always do Star Wars trivia because God knows I have more of that in my head.
Well, yeah, we can probably do that. You guys want to hear a really fucked up comment from the last from the birthday stream? Somebody wrote this.
Yes.
This is from Nazi Brown Shirt.
Oh wait, I'm sure this is a much even keeled comment.
Let's see. So you used to sub as your topics were interesting and informative. However, over the past year, the interesting and informative have given way to boring, monotone soapbox lectures, and the utterly painful live streaming with those two, with those two asshats. It may not hurt to actually go into your live stream with a topic of interest and leave the tool Scribe on the sidelines.
Oh, I'm a tool? Oh.
Yeah, the Nazi doesn't like you, dude.
Oh, a Nazi doesn't like me? You know, sometimes being damned by the devil is perhaps the greatest blessing.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, okay. No, I understand. I am a tool. It's true. Monkey just uses me to pleasure him, and SDA just has me whip her. So, you know, I understand my place. I'm a Swiss Army knife of pleasure.
That one just came through. It's only like 10 minutes old. That's the only reason I haven't paid attention to it, but it made me laugh because one, over the past year, really, I haven't been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
And I think I'm at 6, maybe 7 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just a boring soapbox lecturer now.
Now, I don't disagree that it, and I've argued this in the past offline with Monkey and SDA that, you know, we have some kind of theme or some pre-planned structure.
We said we were going to start doing that.
Yeah,
so
and
we have thought about it. If you guys,
but like Irate Bear says, we're lazy. We're lazy Americans. Unlike him, who's a completely productive Brit who does everything right all the time. He's perfect. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the way it is. Yeah. See, talk like old gangsters now. Yeah. See.
I like the ones where we have a topic all the way through, but I also kind of like the ones where we just can spitball.
Yeah, because those are usually the ones that end in I don't like meatloaf.
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
let's take a minute here. Let's address the Nazis' concern because it's important.
Okay, let's talk about you two being asshats.
No, I was about to say let's plan on a topic or a theme at least for the first portion of tomorrow night. Like let's figure out either from the chat or from our own conversation here. Try to figure out and set it and really adhere to it. Like we take some time before the stream tomorrow night to, whatever it is, do some research or ponder whatever the topic is and have something to come to the table with. So what should we talk about tomorrow? What should be our opening gambit aside from the news? We can put the news aside, actually. We'll do the news after we do our topic.
No, we'll do the news first.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll do news first.
News first.
Okay.
I would actually like to talk about your video that I highlighted in my video today.
What, the lesbian thing?
Lesbian porn.
Oh, okay. I am fine talking about lesbian porn. What do you think about that, SDA? Do you like lesbian porn? Are you willing to talk about it, I guess?
Porn.
She doesn't want to talk about lesbian porn.
It's okay. We can talk about lesbian porn.
Well, it's not even so much talking about lesbian porn to say we can't talk about it without getting into it. Did you watch his video?
Yeah.
Because it's not so much about lesbian porn, but about people bitching about lesbian porn not being for lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just talk about it now, and we'll just come up with a different topic later?
Well,
yeah. So, for those of you who haven't seen the video, as a summary, it's a Mike.com video where we have a woman who is giving a little essay on why lesbian porn is not only not reflective of reality, big surprise, but is also actually harmful to the optics of what lesbianism and lesbian sex is. And her argument is that lesbian porn, where you have the, runway model-esque sexy women sort of rubbing each other and doing everything else, is an ill reflection of real lesbian sex because and this is one of the points she makes, real lesbians don't wear long nails.
I love
Because
that.
I was like, right, okay. And she even says, and you can actually, it's one of the indicators of whether a woman's queer or not if she has long nails, because
No,
ouch.
it's not.
I know it's nonsense what she's talking. I mean, everything about that entire argument is practically nonsense, because if you, and I say this in there, if you watch porn, like produced porn, stuff where you've got a fixed camera and you've got lighting and you got makeup, the whole 9 yards, you're not watching reality, first and foremost. It's produced, it's fantasy. Okay. Also, lesbian porn, and she makes it sound like lesbian porn. If you call it lesbian porn, then it's for lesbians. No, it is porn that depicts lesbianism, and that's it. I mean, a lesbian
nobody
could
wants
watch.
to watch real lesbians have sex
Yeah,
because
like,
they're
have you
hairy and nasty.
seen a lesbian in real? No,
Yeah,
nobody
that's
would make porn of that. Why would you do that? That's just.
That's the thing I say near the end. She says, like, the other problem with lesbian porn is that it sets an unrealistic expectation of what lesbianism is, so that someone who has not had, basically, she says that if she hooks up with some girl, and the only lesbian perspective that this hypothetical girl has ever had is watching lesbian porn, then their expectations of how things are supposed to operate in reality are completely off kilter and da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, then, tell you what, lady, go get a GoPro, and you and your girlfriend film yourselves having sex, put it up on Pornhub like everybody else, and make an entire company of nothing but amateur lesbian porn, real lesbians, and see how that sells. And I by all means, be a success, make a ton of money off of it. I would be surprised if that happens, but by all means, have real lesbians having sex and see how much attention you get out of that to combat the horrible and damaging lesbian porn, which isn't made for lesbians, is actually made for males to watch two hot girls get it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which she finally says at one point, but then doesn't stop the video, because even though she's had this revelation, she has to keep going because it's bad. It's just bad.
Well, I don't know. I guess her issue is that it's made for men.
That was it. It was this sort of passive what's the word? Passive aggressive misandry throughout the entire thing. It's like, how dare men enjoy watching lesbians have sex, because lesbian sex is sacred to lesbians, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, that's not your decision.
It's really weird because a lot of lesbians watch like male gay porn.
Well, anybody can watch it. Even if you say it's targeted towards men. If you're a lesbian, why wouldn't you want to watch two beautiful women do naked things? Do they want to see manly women doing it?
I don't know, I guess.
I don't know. I mean,
I've heard some of them say like it's not authentic enough, which is why lesbians will watch gay porn.
Because produced gay porn is authentic. Or hell,
right.
Just straight porn, produced straight porn is authentic. Yeah, because I'm going to deliver a pizza to a house, and it's going to be occupied by a barely clothed MILF who just suddenly wants to jump my bones.
Yeah.
That's how reality happens. Yeah, that's how it really works. I'm not saying that that's never happened, and lucky is the guy, I suppose, that's happened to, but that is the barest of percentages for anything that actually happens in reality. If you watch,
don't understand why she would be upset by it. At one point, she's talking about how it's going to give kids a false sense of reality, because she's talking about, she actually says, 12 to 14 is when you start seeing porn, and it's going to give you a false. Well, if you watch any porn, it's going to do that. unless you're watching real amateur porn shot in somebody's basement or wherever they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The porn that you're going to see is all fake. It's like the pizza man example is perfect. Or, there's a car broke down on the side of the road. You stop to help her. She gives you a blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, her arguments, such as they are, that this is produced for the male gaze, and that is, she says that I hate that phrase. And I was like, the male gaze, you mean like the guys like fucking each other? The male gaze.
Here's another thing with porn. Men are visually stimulated. That's most porn is made for men, because men like it more. We're visual creatures.
Yep.
And that's why, all of it's directed towards us because they want to sell it and make money off of it. Go make your own nasty porn that nobody wants to watch. Leave the good stuff alone. I like beautiful lesbians licking each other.
Yeah, and she also says in there something. She gets to the point where she starts talking about how she like lesbian porn. Oh, thanks, Sanguine.
Thank you, Sanguine.
If porn was a real delivery boy and pool cleaner numbers would skyrocket overnight. Yeah,
True
exactly.
story.
It's true. She says something like, every time that a guy tells me that I just haven't met the right guy or just haven't had the right D, every time that somebody calls out obscenities at me and my girlfriend making kissing each other goodbye in the morning or something, it diminishes my it makes my sexuality put me into a category of second-class citizenship. And I was like, if making fun of somebody put someone into second-class citizenship, then I would have been deported about 3 hours after I got my first pair of glasses when I was 6, because people can be assholes. But if you're going to take it so personally that you start saying, "Oh, I'm a second-class citizen," the problem's with you. I don't know what to tell you. And it's just, and it was just this sort of like self-defeatist. I mean, by the end of it, it sounded more like you're jealous that you're not in porn. I mean, you're jealous that you're not having that kind of sex or something. I don't know, because what are you? It's like, what are you afraid of? How does this harm you? I mean, I watch far more porn than is probably healthy for me, and I will look. I am never going to look like 99% of the men that you see in porn. But my ego, such as it is not so thin that I'm going to be turned into putty because I see Julian Rios railing some hot chick and he's all muscly and everything. I mean, it's like, oh, now my entire reality is shattered and I can no longer have sex because that really well-built guy is having sex with a woman. What are you talking about? It's just,
Well, I saw something else where somebody was bitching about being told they just haven't had the right dick yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why they get so bent out of shape about it. I've actually had a gay guy say that to me. You just haven't tried dick yet. You don't know that. I'm okay with that. If that's all it is, I'm still okay with it just being that. I'm not trying dick. And I got on with my life.
Yeah.
But it has to be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was 10 or 11 or something, and somebody was calling me a faggot or whatever, which they did on more often than not when I was a kid, yeah, maybe I'd feel upset or something because you're a kid. But this is if this was like some kind of 11-year-old or something saying this stuff, it'd be just like, okay, well, you don't know what you're talking about because you're an 11-year-old. This is a grown adult. There's a grown adult talking about this stuff. I'm like, porn is not harmful to you. You don't have to watch it. It is not ruining society. Okay. I mean, the religious may think it is. I don't disagree that the ease of access to it is not necessarily doing some crazy stuff to kids these days and their perspectives on it. But at this point, it's unavoidable. So deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the world's going to look like in that sense of things, 20 years from now, when porn is as available to Americans as water. I mean, we'll probably be like France in that sense at that point, because Europe is a lot more comfortable with the naked body than America is.
Oh yeah, our Puritan ancestry fucked us all up,
or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, it was a ridiculous little thing that I came across. But of course, it's coming from Mike.com, and just about everything they put out is just the most. At this point, I'm not even sure that Mike isn't a Poe, or they've just not morphed into one, because some of the stuff they put, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, there's no way you're not doing this just for the sake of the cheap controversy.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but people can be that stupid.
No, I know. I just have, I guess, higher expectations, which is usually why I'm so flabbergasted when I'm doing some of the videos I do. And like, you have the title doctor in front of your name. I assume you went to school. I assume that you had to answer test questions. Oh, thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
Your first stream. Uh-oh.
For this being my first stream. Thanks.
We've broken your stream cherry. I don't know if you picked the right threesome for that, but okay.
I think you picked the perfect threesome for it.
Oh,
SJ, why are you being quiet?
Hmm?
Do you not like porn?
She doesn't like lesbian porn.
I'm not being quiet.
You're being quiet.
You haven't
I'm
said a
not.
word for like 15 minutes. It's SDA's turn to pick the topic.
Ah, no, it's too much pressure.
Oh, God.
Well, let's talk about your video that I highlighted and Riley Dennis's belief that if you don't want to try dick, then you're somehow bigoted.
Yeah, that like, okay, this is what drives me nuts about it. She's like, I'm not saying that lesbians have to like men or have sex with men. I'm just saying that lesbians should understand that some women have penises. And I'm like,
Thank you, Eric. When he said that, some women have vaginas. Some no women have penises. They just don't.
I'm sorry, but she's like, you don't have to have sex with men. It's just that, I mean, for what it's your fault that you don't think that women have penis. It's like, are you fucking serious? That's your excuse for this conversion therapy level bullshit? Is that some women have penises? Really? Because that's what it sounds like. She's pretty much like, well, just give dick a try.
Yeah, that's what's
Like,
his whole premise is
no,
that if
that's
you
not
don't want
how
to
it
have
works.
if you don't want to have sex with somebody you're not attracted to, then you're a bigot.
Right,
If
because you should. Well, what he's saying is that, it should be.
he's saying it should be based on how you look on the outside above your clothes.
Right, exactly. And, I'm sure that if you saw somebody who was transgender and who was gorgeous and like they had a great personality and everything, you'd be attracted to them. And then you'd, be doing your thing, and then all of a sudden there's a schlong, and you probably wouldn't be into it anymore.
Yeah, if the schlong comes out, I'm gone. I'm just not. I don't have any interest in it. And
Yeah, so it's like there's two components to it. There's obviously what you look like, but then it's also just the fact that, like, you know, because I think in his original video he said something like vaginas are associated with women and penises are associated with men. And
yes, associated.
I was like, yeah,
They're acquaintances.
they're just
Fucking asshole.
we
God, I hate
commonly
him.
think of it that way, and I'm like, no. Because when
Well,
somebody says, "Oh, I'm gay" or "I'm straight," what they're telling you is like, "I want to suck a dick" or "I want a Michael Phelps a smush cookie."
mm-hmm.
They're not
Well,
saying like that's just. Ugh. Sorry.
the SJWs have really turned any kind of. We all have biases about things. Thank you, Tom K. Riley Dennis is a crossdresser that thinks he's some new gender. Yeah, he thinks he's a woman. Because he wears his eye makeup like shoe on head.
And you shouldn't take makeup advice from shoe on head. That's for damn sure.
SJWs have taken the idea that if you don't enjoy something like, I don't like mushrooms, I'm a bigot. That's not what it means. I have no interest in dick. That doesn't make me a bigot.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for all the trans women, but I'm like, that is what it is.
Did you
don't
see Blair
have
White's video on that?
a snoochadoodle. No, I don't watch Blair White that
You
much.
should watch her. She has good stuff. And in one of her last videos, I don't want to say it's the last one because I haven't checked her channel in a few days, but the one she just did where she pissed off a whole bunch of trans people because she says even though she's going through the transition, if she has the complete surgery, she's still technically a dude because that's how she was born.
Well,
And
biologically, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Well, remember,
Well,
Riley
and
Dennis, biology is made up. It's a social construct.
the issue is too is that there's a lot more to attraction and relationships than even just like the genitals. It's not just I want something squishy to stick my dick in. It's also if you want kids, if like all that kind of stuff. There's a lot more that goes into it than just that. And there's a whole lot to think about if you're going to date a tranny.
Yeah. Especially like
Sorry.
what's between their legs, because that's going to become an issue at some point.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, you know, I've heard some trans people say this, that, you know, they don't tell somebody before they, you know,
That's a
are,
good way to get your ass kicked.
well, and they're
I'm,
like,
I'm saying that that's what
sorry.
should happen, but that is a good way to get your ass kicked. That is something you can't spring. You can't spring dick on somebody.
Well, somebody was saying, I have to be, it was a transgender person who was saying, you know, I have to be worried that if I'm going to have sex with somebody, that they're going to want to beat me up. And I'm like, well, you
Not
told
if you
them
tell them.
about the sausage stick, right? Like you disclosed that information. Because if you didn't, then that's a bad
Yeah,
you.
that is not something. That's a danger. And yeah, in a perfect society, the person who was uninterested will go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had a dick," and just walk away. We don't live in a perfect society, and that's a bad idea. If you're gonna be with somebody, make sure you let them know what your genitals are. If it's not what they're gonna be expecting.
Well, even as somebody who can swing both ways, if it was just like all of a sudden something that I wasn't expecting,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that would take me a minute to process. I'd be like, okay, uh, really? Why didn't you just say so?
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to establish trust with someone if you kind of keep that kind of secret?
Right.
I mean, sexuality. I mean, some people. I've known people that are very less, I guess, private about these things. But for all my rhetoric and everything else, um, if I choose to, and this is going to sound like a Hallmark card, but if I choose to share my body with somebody, that is something that I don't do very often,
mm-hmm.
and a it is a gesture of not only attraction and desire, but it's also one of trust. Because I mean, in so many ways, I'm trusting you with, if nothing else, my bodily health in some ways. And I don't,
well, yeah.
anyway,
And if you're
I,
not going to be honest with me about what's between your legs, like,
yeah,
I don't know, do you have AIDS too? What the fuck? How
yeah. I
can I
mean,
trust anything you say?
yeah, it's the whole thing of like, okay, well, when did you start lying to me? This
Yeah.
happened. This happened with like one of my ex girlfriends. It's like at some point she stopped telling me the truth, but I didn't know that she did until after she broke up with me. So then every memory I have of that relationship is tarnished with the question of, was this the point at or before she started telling me what I wanted to hear? It
Yeah. How
just,
much of it was real?
yeah, it completely ruins it. This is why, this is why well, at least in this particular instance, I told her at the beginning of the relationship, I said, if anything's ever off, if something ever isn't working or whatever else, just don't lie to me. Just come to
You're
me
a
and
little
let's
bit
talk about
quiet.
it. Testing, testing, testing.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I just said don't lie to me because the truth hurts, but lies are worse.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start lying, then everything, like, so yeah, I for all the happy memories I could have about that relationship, even if I could draw a line and say, well, this is where it went sour, I can't because I don't know. And that's even worse. That's even worse.
Thank you, Tom K. Maybe I'm way off base, but sometimes I think trans women are trying to trick straight men into gay sex. You know, I don't think that's actually what they're doing. I get what you're saying. I think they're hoping that the relationship is strong enough to overcome the dick. I don't think that they're going into it thinking, haha, I'm going to make this guy gay. I think they're going into it thinking, maybe this person will love me enough that my penis isn't going to matter. And they're wrong in most cases. But I don't think they're really, I don't think they're being that deceitful on purpose in that way. If that makes sense. I don't think they're going out of their
Yeah.
way to be.
You know, I think that there are people who, because it's hard, because most people want to get married, they want kids, you know, and they also want to know that the person that they're going to be with is healthy and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, being transgender does usually come with a history of serious mental health problems as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The suicide rate is just fucking outrageous.
yeah, so there's a lot. So there's a lot to that, and I can imagine that it would be hard and it would be scary. It's hard for anybody to actually find like the person, but it's probably even harder if you're a woman with a penis.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine that, the people who you're usually doing that are probably going to be younger.
Well, One Ton
You
Hammer
know,
said that there are people who do that, and I agree. There's fucked up people in every group,
yeah,
but
I just think most of them are just trying to like be accepted in some form or another. Um, because, I think with gender dysphoria, it makes you are under the you are having the delusion that you are a man in a woman's body. Not that like you're completely delusional, obviously but that's the
well,
mentality that you have. We know that it's scientifically real. I can't imagine what that's like, but you then have to navigate the world. And as a young person, I can understand why you wouldn't want to tell somebody, by the way, I have a dick.
yeah, like I said, I think they're just hoping that love is going to overcome that little problem in it, and it's just not.
Well, some people, I've known some people that have found that relationship. They've been lucky enough to find that,
Yeah.
and more power to them if they can find it. But regardless if you're a transgender, if you're a male, if you're a female, whatever, if you are not honest with your partner from the get-go, you are setting up just the likelihood of problems. I mean, you can't
Mhm.
hope to have a healthy relationship with somebody without being honest. And some people say, "Oh, everybody's got to lie a little."
What?
That might no. I've heard that before. Everybody's got to lie a little. Like you don't tell your wife that she's getting out of shape or something because you don't want to cause more problems just for the sake of things.
Well,
Yeah.
in the beginning, almost this is a joke on TV shows. Even guys will say that they don't like porn.
Yeah.
Guys like porn. If any guy tells you he doesn't like porn, he is fucking lying to you. Don't care who he is. He could be the pastor at your church. He's beaten off to porn. But yeah, there is to a point. Here's the thing: you don't have to lie. You just don't have to be mean, and that's what people don't understand. You can get away with like if you're do I look fat in this? You don't want to come. Yeah, you look like a buffalo. No, you
You look like Shank.
my wife, because if my wife puts on something ugly, I will go, that's ugly.
Sure.
But when she gets dressed up all nice, she goes, how do I look? I'm like, you look beautiful. You look wonderful. And she's like, you're just saying that. Like, you know me better than that. You being honest really is the best thing. And if you're not going to be honest about your sex of all things, that's just setting it up for failure. Thank you, Sanguine. How long before Riley or his ilk pull the porn girls argument and start shrieking that lesbian porn isn't real because none of the women have dicks?
Wow, that'll be the day.
If you tweet that to Riley, that'll be his next video.
Why is there no lesbian porn with penises? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's that argument I'm sure is coming. But see, we have things to talk about. We can always talk about our videos. We do good subject matter on our videos.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what my last one was on a one-woman play called White Woman in Progress.
Oh, I still haven't watched that one.
Oh, should I not spoiler it for you? It's very
No,
very,
go ahead. I'll watch
it's
anyway.
very brief. I mean, it's just a promo for this one woman show, and so it's this actress named Tara Oakes, and she in the movie Selma, and I haven't seen the movie Selma, but apparently she played the role of a historical figure named Viola Liuzzo. And Viola Liuzzo was a civil rights activist, a white woman, who just sort of one day got inspired by Martin Luther King and sort of just left her home. I think it was up north somewhere, I forget. Anyway, she went down to Selma and participated in civil rights marches. She organized civil rights events, the whole nine yards. And then in 1965, she was literally run off the road by Ku Klux Klan members and murdered. And so this was the starting point. So she uses this as the point at which she wants to do a one-woman show, sort of depicting what she thinks her role is as a white woman in the modern civil rights movement. And maybe I'm obtuse. That's possible. I'm curious to know what is the modern civil rights movement? I mean, what rights don't you have, or what rights do you have that others do not at this point in time? And especially since you're basing this around your skin color.
Yeah.
And she does this. She puts up this one PowerPoint thing that says defining what a racist is, and it says someone who believes, and I'm paraphrasing, but someone who believes someone is superior based on their race, ergo bigot. And I was like, a bigot is not a racist. This is why they're two different words. A bigot is someone who is intolerant of someone else based on their ideas or opinions. A racist is intolerant of someone based on their race. They're two different things. That always annoys me when they conflate those two words together. But the other thing too is that she goes on to sort of say that this is, she wants to have this dialogue, and that having this role sort of made her confront her role as an actress and as a citizen and all this other stuff. And by the end of the video, I get a little testy, I think, and I say, so playing a pretending to be a martyr of a civil rights movement that was half a century old by now inspired you to stand on a stage and essentially profess your guilt and your acknowledgement of your skin color. Viola Liuzzo died attempting to end racial inequality in the world, and you honor her sacrifice by standing on a stage and apologizing for being white. And it just kind of, it's a very short, the video itself is like maybe 2 or 2.5 minutes long or something. It's just sort of a little ad for her one woman show where she sort of addresses the camera and talks about it, and then they show a couple of scenes from the thing. But it just really caught my brain. I was like, what are, so I said in there, you understand that racism also means devaluing someone based on their race, right? Because that sure sounds like what you're doing to yourself. Anyway.
Well, we have this whole thing right now where nobody seems to understand how good things actually are. And it's almost like they want the oppression back. And so they will conflate everything. I mean, there's actually a theory out there right now, and I am not making this up. This is for you science people, that the oppression from slavery has been passed down to later generations through their fucking genes. I'm
not surprised to hear that.
That's not how genetics works.
Yeah.
You can't pass down your oppression through genes. It's just they're so desperate to be oppressed, and I mean this about every group who wants. And you can sum that up basically by social justice. All of these groups whine about shit that's literally nothing compared to what their grandparents or great-great-grandparents went through. Americans are so privileged, all of us, that they are desperate for something to be oppressed about, and it's fucking sad. To the point where literally white people are apologizing for being white.
Yeah. It's bonkers. I don't have any other word for it. It's just bonkers. It's like, why? I guess the other question is, why is there a compulsion? I guess it doesn't even matter if it's about race or anything else, but why is there a compulsion to feel bad or to feel like you have to struggle? Like your life has no meaning, or you're somehow invalid if you're not fighting the good fight. I understand now this is just me, but I understand that sort of like instinctual, maybe it's just a masculine need to be a hero, to save your loved one, to push the baby out of the way of the truck, to sort of, that sort of self-sacrifice, jump on the grenade sort of mythic instinct. I mean, you could call it a paternal instinct, call it a white knight instinct in the truer, more historical sense of the word. I understand that sort of dream, that wish fulfillment kind of idea. So I understand like wanting to struggle, wanting to be the hero, wanting to actually help people in a way, that kind of ethos. But I don't understand turning the person you're trying to save into someone else who you can't see by denigrating yourself.
Yeah.
I don't get.
Have you seen those sites? There's been 2 or 3 of them now where white people can go and give black people money or pay their bills for them.
Yes, I
or
saw that. Yes,
Thank you
reparations.com
again,
or
Tom.
whatever.
Whiteness is a secular expression of original sin these days. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, those sites are fucking funny, and some of the things that they ask for on there. But yeah, the site actually will tell you, this is to help you with your, to make amends for being white. I'm like, that's fucking retarded. And the people who give their money away that way, all I can think is the old expression, a fool and his money are soon parted, because unless you yourself did something, you have no reason to feel guilty.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of my best friends, well, used to be. Things had changed, but at one point, this is very early on into the onset of the social justice mindset in a lot of places, but they began lecturing me a little bit, sort of that friendly, sort of joking manner about my privilege. And this is before I was really even aware of all this stuff, but I'm at least I can at least give myself a pat on the back that the instincts were there even before I was sort of invested in all this, I guess. And I looked at him, I said, you know, because he said something effective, well, you've got privilege because your grandmother paid for your college. And I said, my grandfather fought in World War II. He worked for NASA. He invested his money in real estate. He came from the Dust Bowl. He had nothing and he built himself up. And he provided a better life for his children than what he had. That's not privilege. That's the results of hard work. And the fact that my grandmother decided to pass on some of that hard work onto me to give me an advantage over what she had, who never went to college, I'm supposed to feel bad about that? I'm proud of my grandmother. I'm thankful. I went to college and I got all the grades I was supposed to get because it wasn't my money. I wasn't there on my dime. I wasn't going to waste my grandmother's money. I worked to earn the gift she had given me.
Yeah.
And I was just, I mean, that was my automatic reaction to that accusation. Because tell me that there isn't anybody who has children who, if they were able to, provide a better situation for their children than they themselves had. And if you're going to tell me that your children should then feel guilty because you put the hard work in to make sure they were safe and taken care of and everything else, I don't know what planet you're on. And
Well,
even
it's
if,
almost-
and even if it's like something like, oh, well, your parents didn't earn that money, it was handed to them by somebody else, or they won the lottery or whatever. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You're judging someone's character on the basis of numbers.
Yeah.
Now, if those numbers corrupt that person, if that person turns into an asshole because they were handed everything, if they don't understand the value of a dollar and so on and so on and so on, well, you can blame the parents then, and you can blame that person for being an asshole. But that's got nothing to do with privilege. That's just them being an asshole.
Yeah. Well, for the people who to feel the guilt because they get some advantage like that, it's almost like a weird form of survivor's guilt that is being pushed by everything now. I mean, the social justice. I know a lot of people, when Trump won, they're like, we finally beat him. No, we really haven't. We really fucking haven't. I wanted to address a comment Backscan said. He said, Monkey, you really can't blame them. Wouldn't you sign up for a site that would give you free shit? Absolutely. And I don't blame the people who sign up to get the free shit.
Mm-hmm.
I blame the people who actually give them the money. SDA, what are you doing over there?
Listening.
God.
Are you tired?
No.
You make me feel bad.
Why?
The tone of your voice, it just makes me feel like you're sad. I don't want you to be sad.
No, I'm fine. Just listening.
We're boring her.
Yeah.
It's our male privilege.
Yeah, we're
getting it all
manspreading
over.
everything. Yeah. I'm manspreading right now even. You can't see it. Under my desk, my knees are just so wide apart, they're practically just, horizontal to the floor.
Well, I am getting tired, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to open it up to audience real quick, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, audience.
Audience, anything you want us to discuss that we've ignored so far?
Throw a question at SDA so she isn't bored.
Look, you guys silencing women. You know, I did get accused of that during that Twitter exchange because she said something and I did, and apparently that was me not letting her talk.
Talk about the real 300 Spartans. I'm not a history majored Scotch.
Brian says, watch Grade A Under 8's video on awkward situations and you'll know why not to ask an introvert if they're quiet or why they're quiet. I know it makes them uncomfortable and I'm okay with that. I think she's being quiet because she's over there playing Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you. Ranting Monkey, I'm sending you something. Maybe you can talk about it tomorrow. We'll see. Failures on YouTube, Saints. Failures all over the place lately.
Who's failure?
Failure accomplished.
Who's that?
He's a guy. I first noticed him because one of his videos got his channel shut down, and there was a big push to get him back because he didn't do anything wrong. And since then, he's on streams all over the place. Nice enough guy. Haven't got to talk to him much personally, but I like most of what he's doing. What is the best Pokemon? Charmander. Stop it.
It's Jigglypuff.
No, it's not.
Why isn't it Jigglypuff? What's wrong with Jigglypuff?
It's a gay Pokemon.
Jigglypuff is just a bad Pokemon.
What does Jigglypuff evolve into?
Wigglypuff? Is it literally Wigglypuff? I don't remember.
I never use.
I don't
I
either.
would have to look it up. That's how much
Yeah,
I don't
no,
use it.
Wigglytuff.
I think you're giving Jigglypuff a bad rap.
Yeah, because it needs one.
Oh, there's a good one. What's your opinion of beating the SJWs versus compromise with the SJWs? At this point,
There is no compromise.
Yeah, exactly. They've gone off the fucking rails at this point.
I mean, also, I'm really stubborn, and I think that liberals are fucking retards, so I don't compromise with retards.
I don't have a problem compromising on things, but when somebody tells me that I'm a bigot because I won't fuck a man, no, there's no compromise there. Or if somebody tells me that being male is toxic masculinity, go fuck yourself. That's stupid. In my video on that I did a couple days ago, I brought up the point that we never hear about toxic femininity. There's stories of women who kill their fucking children to get the attention, or so that they can get with their man. Susan Smith drown her 2 babies so that she could date a dude. That's not called toxic femininity. But some dude beats his wife. Oh, that's a problem with maleness. Go fuck yourself. No, it's not. These are assholes.
Better Red pointed out that liberals and SJWs are not the same thing. And yeah, no, I know, but left-wing people are mostly fucking idiots, whether they're SJWs or not. So, you know, sorry, but left-wing economic policy, absolute garbage.
Peter, we haven't come up with a band name yet.
Oh yeah, we thought about it last night. Didn't come up with anything.
Backscan, I'm not telling the dirtiest joke I can think of.
Oh yeah,
we've been there and done that.
Please do.
No. We're not.
I've told so many people the teddy bear joke.
That joke is so bad, so bad.
I love that joke.
So do I, but it is so bad.
It makes me happy.
Monkey, if you wanted to talk about your videos you did today, I like it. And sorry you got fired from YouTube on your birthday. If you guys haven't watched Satsu's You Got Fired video, you should go check it out. I did a little bit there for him. If you guys don't know the story behind that, Onision did a couple of videos now saying that YouTube fired him.
All right.
What?
And yes, because he's not getting as much ad revenue.
Nobody's getting as much ad revenue, you idiot.
Yeah, everybody's taking a hit.
Real quick, Scotch one brought up, I didn't talk about my dick, so Monkey's dick has now been mentioned.
Yay.
Monkey dick.
Monkey dick. But
there's the band name.
Monkey. Yeah, better read. Onision is a retard, but it's funny to watch his meltdown. All right, we're gonna do last call here because I am really. I didn't get a nap again today. I got to stop doing that.
Are you a 2-year-old?
No, see, I don't want to talk about this because, yeah, this pain that I am drains the energy out of me. And if I don't take a nap by this time at night, I am just done.
So are you, side topic, are you thinking about getting one of those layback computer stations?
That might be something in the future. I got myself a nice chair, a nice wireless keyboard, and right now I'm almost in that same. It would be nice to go back even further, but I'm much better than I used to be sitting at the computer. It's definitely on my wish list, though. Monkey is a lesbian, but I have a dick. So if you get with me, you got to know that. You should also know that if you get with me, Mrs. Monkey will kill both of us. Why is no one answering my question about possible tranny tests? I'm sorry, I missed the question. Ask it again real quick.
Tranny tests?
Yeah.
Is that something that I don't even know the science? Is that something that can actually like brain scan or test for that you're more likely or something? I don't even know. Have they found I guess have they found like a biological or genetic trick? Okay.
What they have found
Holy
is
shit.
what did I miss?
Onision's channel, bro.
Yeah.
The Social Blade. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he's taking a huge
all
hit.
that red. That's so much red.
Real quick, Mash, we're not avoiding. Scribe's not avoiding answering your question, being rude or anything. He's saving answering questions about himself for his stream. That's tomorrow.
Yes, Mash. I have just earlier, like the first time you asked it, I have this notepad document going with all the questions that people have posted on to the announcement video, and I have physically added your question to the list, so your question will be answered tomorrow. Granted that somehow I don't run out of time.
Okay, his question is, how do you check whether or not someone is a transgender? I don't want to find out that little unpleasant surprise on my honeymoon.
Have sex before marriage.
Yeah, sex before marriage, which I
mean,
I think everybody should do.
If it's had the surgery and it has a fake smush cookie, you will know. Like, you'll know, because I mean, unless you've never had sex before, in which case watch a lot of porn and examine real smush cookies, because if you can't tell them apart, maybe you deserve to be tricked. Anyway, so yeah, you'll know when you see it, because also if it's a fake dick, they literally have to inflate it. Like, it can't get hard.
Brian says sex before marriage is kind of a no-no for us religious people. It depends on which religion you are. If you're going by Judeo-Christian beliefs, that's not actually what the Bible says. It just says if you have sex before marriage, you have to marry that person.
Just make it a yes.
Ask for pictures. I don't have a good answer for that.
Something.
Yeah.
Oral sex.
Ask to see him in. Yeah, tell him you just want to check.
Is SDA a real ginger or a transgender? My hair is red, but it's dark. So it's like, yeah, dark ginger.
Did I already do last call?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll do it again just in case. Last call, guys. Anything you want to know that we can't answer, and make it brief because Monkey's falling out here. Should I meet their parents and ask to see baby pictures at any point? You could, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Just, like, I don't know, walk in on her naked, see what happens.
Explain that you're curious and just want to be sure. I mean, they might get offended, but it's better than waking up with a dick you didn't expect.
I mean, it looks like it's a guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know how Blair's voice makes her sound kind of like a tranny? Yeah. If she talks like a gay guy and it's all nasally, probably a tranny.
Okay.
Nothing against Blair. That's just what happens to the trannies.
Should SDA name her dog Penguin Pony? No.
No.
She should name it Monkey.
Jinx. I vote for Jinx.
Studwhelm, SDA, the Dark Ginger, new Marvel series. Hashtag new Marvel series.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying Dark Ginger's like the avenging angel, like taking
Yes.
out everybody who might bully a ginger.
And
Yeah,
I
my
think
hair's really pretty in the sunlight.
that's really pretty anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aww.
Oh, and that's what we're going to
Aw.
end on. Our superhero who's really pretty.
No.
Chat, thanks for coming. I love you guys. Scribe, SDA, a pleasure as always. Your life makes me sad. I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.